Hey, it's Drew Dillon from Project Lift, and this week we're looking at back-off weeks in Olympic weightlifting, also known as deload weeks. And we had a great question from a viewer out there, so thank you for asking this question, is really getting into back-off weeks at a deeper level. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. If you want to get better at your Olympic lifts, and I imagine you do if you're watching this video, I encourage you to check out our free guide, How to Improve Your Olympic Lifts Now. It'll take you through a really simple process, give you awesome drills you can use today, and support you. It's free. Check it out. Once this video helps you, smash that thumbs up button. Make sure you pay it forward, share it with a friend, and subscribe. New videos are coming each week. So first, let's define a deload week. What is a deload week? A deload week or a back-off week is where in our programming we go down to, it could be done many different ways. We could go down in lower intensity, so from a percentage standpoint we're going lower in percentages. We could do it from a standpoint of overall movement with the body, so we're lowering reps and sets. We could do it from a standpoint of, say, we wanted to lower the volume of doing full ranges motions. We could turn it into powers, right? So there's a lot of ways to do a back-off week, a deload week, depending on what's going on with the athlete. But there's an old quote that's always stuck with me since I started coaching, and that was, if you don't give yourself a deload week, your body will give you one in the form of an injury. So keep that in mind as we go into it. We're looking at, one, how do we create this week? And two, seeing that this back-off week, this deload week, is part of bigger, healthier lifts. So into that, backing off is part of gains, okay, period. If you're creating separation between them, if you're creating this story that you're only making progress if you're in the gym, and if you back off, or if you're less intense, that somehow you're making less gains, you're separating two things that are interlinked. And that is inaccurate. They are one and the same. If you want to make great gains, if you want to build this awesome body, if you want to have amazing strength, then back off weeks are part of that. So how do they fit in? What happens? Why do we use them? They fit in because it allows our bodies to adapt, right? Our nervous system that we've just put through a bunch of stress to come back in a new firing order, in a more driven firing order, and allows it to get stronger. Our muscles, it allows them to grow. All of it, our minds, it allows them to rest. And that allows us to come back stronger and more focused. So back off weeks are an absolute essential. They're not separate from gains in themselves. And if you're separating them, you're doing yourself a disservice. So how do you program a deload week, a back off week? Here's the kicker. Individual athlete programs are superior. So when you look at an individual athlete, customizing a back off week for that athlete is the best way to do it. But here's the kicker that it's difficult to get into in this video. There are so many variables. How much volume is the athlete able to train under successfully, right? So the longer an athlete trains, the more volume they can handle. So that's a component. How long have they been training? How much volume can they handle in general? Number two, what stressors are going on for the athlete? So is this athlete able to completely train only, or does this athlete have work and a family and everything else going on? So that's a component as well. So for an individual out there doing this for themselves, a great start point that's a very generalized statement is every 4 to 5 weeks from a microcycle is a great opportunity to put in a deload week. And this really works well with progressive overload. So if we said week 1 was 80%, week 2 was 85%, week 3, 90%, right? So boom, boom, boom. And then week 4, back to 80%. So here's an example in a micro scale of a deload, of a back off week, 80%. And then the next week, push, go 90 plus, right? Go for weight of the day, 100%, right? See what's there. That's a great example of using a deload week to our favor. So again, individual programs are the best. And why I say that is that general rule, 4 to 5 weeks, a well-trained athlete who has a higher level of volume, they can go longer between deloading. So you can build more stress on them, then deload them and test. So there's no rhyme or reason. Remember, each of our bodies and each of our situations are different, so I'm plugging that all in there, but a great rule of thumb, every 4 to 5 weeks, plug in a deload week. Also, when we look at the deload week, we can think of it from a macro scale, from a big picture, as seasons. So are we in a weightlifting season if you think of sports, versus we're just continually all year round, everything's the same. And one sport that I love to look at to this is track and field, specifically throwing. Throwers and weightlifters use a lot of the same energy systems, have a lot of similarities when it comes to their sports. So track and field has an off season, weightlifting doesn't. And that's a big opportunity, because for us, with our competitors at Project Lift, many of them benefit from an off season, which we build into their schedule around competitions that they want to do. So here's this off season where we go away from the barbell in a much bigger way than we would ever do in season. And when they come back in season, the gains are amazing. So I wanted to plug that in there too. If you've never thought of a deload from a standpoint of a macro scale, looking at it as a season and giving yourself 2, 3, 4 months away from the movements at a consistent basis, and how well you'll feel when you come back if you do that well. So I hope this helps. Let me know what questions you have around back off weeks, deload weeks. Put them down in the comments, and I'd love to support you on it.